Hello, this is Caleb.
Yes, Caleb. I was just returning your call. My name is Valerie Bond. You were inquiring about the house
Oh
in
yeah.
Ypsilanti, Lakeland. Yeah, so yeah, you did call me yesterday when I was at work. I'm about to go in again, so I just wanted to touch base with you. Yeah, I'm in healthcare working all
I
kinds of hours. It's
I know it.
terrible,
I got
but
COVID this weekend, and I feel for you. Just dealing with all that stuff.
oh, oh wow, you caught COVID?
Yeah, my whole family caught it. We've been dodging this long, and
Oh,
we homeschool, and we don't go out much. We have groceries delivered. I work from home. Some family
oh
member
wow.
went to. We live next door to family, and somebody brought it in. So
Wow, I'm sorry to hear
lame.
that. Hopefully you
Yep.
can.
No, we're
Right,
doing
you
okay.
guys
We
keep
got
it
we got
safe.
all our medications and everything. My wife's pregnant, so she's on some different prescriptions than me. But it we only had
Oh
one bad
wow.
day.
Oh wow. Oh, I'm glad to hear that you guys are doing good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you.
What state are you calling from?
I'm in Kansas City, Kansas side.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So, all right. So how did you hear about the house in Ypsilanti?
So I am a
What?
consultant, like a creative finance consultant for several different home buying companies. That's probably the easiest way
Okay.
to put it. So when they make a cash offer that doesn't work out, they've got called a max allowable offer based on their calculators, and can they make money on it or not? And they hit whatever that number is, and they can't go above that, and they're not even allowed to because it's just bad business. They probably would not be able to close on your house, which would be bad for you. So they call me, and I can make overriding purchase decisions. Basically, we end up trading terms for price, right? So if I can come up to your price, can you give me some of the terms that I need in order to reach that price?
Okay. So I think I had heard, I mean, they were telling me about that. That's the first I've heard of creative financing, right?
Yep.
That's what you,
And that's my
yeah.
specialty. That's like all I do. Is like now sometimes we talk creative finance and we talk through the whole situation, and somebody decides, you know what, creative finance isn't the way. Um, I'd rather just take a cash offer, even if it's lower than I thought I wanted at first. But that's not too common.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I think I can't remember who I spoke with. It's so many people been trying to call me about the house.
I know
So
it, and they all have the
yeah,
same price ranges, probably is what I'd guess, because everybody's using the
well,
same math.
right. But yeah. So you're the middle person to try to make it work. Is that what you're saying that you do?
You could say I'm the end of the line. I'm the last chance to save it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, no, that's fine because the house is in good condition. So it's not like and it's being rented out. So it's not
hmm
like, I'm hard up to give it away or whatever. So but I
Right.
understand uh investors and all of that. So I mean, either way, if it doesn't, then that's fine. If it do, then that'd be great. But that's where I'm at with it. So
Well, are you
um,
maybe tired of being a landlord or anything like that, like dealing with tenants, or you got good tenants?
I have excellent tenants, but like I said, I'm in healthcare. I'm
Yeah.
tired of the long hours. So I just wanted to do something different
hmm
by maybe unloading the house, but it has to make financial sense for me as well.
Sure.
So
Okay.
that's where I'm at with it, to
And
be
then are
honest.
so if you sold it, would you be wanting to do like a 1031 exchange into something bigger or not at all?
I don't know what a 1031. What is that? I
Oh,
don't.
I apologize. I didn't mean to overspeak. A 1031 exchange, when you sell a house that you've had as a rental property, as any investment property, there's going to be a couple of things that happen to you on the tax side. Number one is a depreciation recapture. Do you know if you've been taking depreciation on the property?
Oh, I have even with the rental because they've been
Yes.
written for over 10 years,
Yeah. Okay.
and yeah, they
So
keep the
when
house
you
in good
sell,
condition.
the IRS gives you the discount against the income. That's your depreciation over 27 and a half years. But when you sell it, they recapture all of that. So the only way to avoid, and then there's capital gains tax on the
Right.
value gain of the house since you bought it. So the only way to dodge the capital gains is really not a dodge, it's a kick it down the road sort of thing, is to use something called a 1031 exchange. And what that means is you sell the house and the money goes into the account of a 1031 intermediary, which is just an IRS authorized third party who holds the money in an escrow account while you shop for your next house. And you've got like 45 days to find the next house and 180 days to close on it.
Okay.
And but what that means is if you had to spend $15,000 in taxes, well, now that money is still available for the down payment on your next house. So it actually increases your purchasing power long term if you wanted to upgrade properties. So some people just constantly flip up and up and up and up and up and keep kicking that capital gains down the road. And if they do that long enough, when they die, the capital gains expires upon their death, and when their descendants inherit the property.
Okay. Wow, I didn't even,
there's a there's a lot to it. So yeah,
yeah,
so selling actually can bring you a pretty big tax bill that you should be prepared for. Is what I wanted to say.
right. So, I mean, I still want to, I don't know. What are you guys looking to say the house is worth or willing to offer? I mean, just to give me an idea, because like I said, it has to make sense to me
Hmm.
and what I'm trying to accomplish. But if it doesn't, then it's like, no harm, no foul. But I don't know. I'm not selling the property to get
Right.
something else
Right.
because I don't. And I mean, the economy is good, but in this, just to have tenants the way I have,
Hmm.
they pay on time. They're not a problem. They keep the
Hmm.
property up. I couldn't ask for better tenants,
Yeah.
So
I've got one like that. So I'm in Kansas City, Missouri, and I've got one that's very similar to that. And I'm like, I'm not raising the rent on this guy. I'm not doing nothing. He's good. He's solid. He calls me like some shingles blew off the roof. He said, "Hey man, there's a hole in the roof." I said, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll send you a picture." And I was like, "Oh, a couple of shingles just blew off. I'll be over to replace those. Thanks." But
right.
I mean, that was the
Yeah,
worst
but
call I ever got from him.
wow, but my tenants, I mean, my tenants are, I mean, they're excellent, but they overstep because I was like, who buys a generator for the house? They did. I was like, are you guys planning on? Because I was going to give them an awesome deal. Like you've been in there, so you pretty paid for the house one time over already. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And I was like, why would you buy a generator? But anyway, that's to the extent of they're fixing up the house. And so I would have to reimburse them for that. But why would you do
Why would
that?
you have
You
to
see
do
what I'm
that?
Why would I mean just because that's the right thing to do. I mean, they put money, I mean, I'm not,
Fair
I
enough.
think,
Fair enough.
yeah, I'm not that type of person. So I wouldn't want, I'm not a slumlord. I don't, I want to treat people like I want to be treated. So
Hmm.
if you put money into it and I'm going to have, just because it's not your house, and that's fine if you were buying it, but who does that? I
Yeah.
mean, that
Well,
was just
yeah.
one of me. Yeah, yeah.
Have you
So
thought about selling it to them or had that discussion?
I did. And you know
Yeah.
what they said they would get back with me. They want, I mean, I think they're, they love the house and I don't know if they're I know they had you know, walked away from a house years ago and I don't know if they were trying to build back up their credit or whatever, but they pay on time and they're
Yeah.
excellent tenants. It's not my bill. I mean, not business. I offered it to them. If that's not what you want to do, then that's fine. But you can't
Hmm.
expect for me to, you know, well, it's my choice anyway to keep
That's
waiting
right.
on you. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that's
Well,
that.
have
So
you ever done a lease option? Do you know what that is?
no, what is
No, and I don't want to overload you, but I just did one of these in Michigan. Where was that? Just south of Flint, Burton, Michigan. I just bought a house in September from a family who they wanted to keep the house, but somebody in the family died and the house had to be sold, and somebody in the family was already living in the house and couldn't buy it
mm-hmm.
because they just changed jobs, so the bank wouldn't finance them. So,
Okay.
long story short, they want to stay in the house. They want to keep it in the family because that's where they grew up. They gave me a massive discount because I said, I'm all about saving this house for your family. The only thing I can't do is lose money. And I'll show you my spreadsheets so that there's no deceit in what's going on. You'll understand and I'll understand, but I don't think the numbers are going to be where you'd like them to be if it was just going to be a sale. And they said, okay.
Mm-hmm.
It appraised for 138 and they sold it to me for 185 because what I did was I agreed to give them 5 years to buy it back from me at a fixed price, which was still that it was a gain for me. The each year it goes up a little bit more, but it's
Right.
still below the market value. They gave me a discount. I'm giving them a discount as well, and they've got 5 years to claim that. And I said, you know what? Even if you can't do it in 5 years or you don't decide to, I will always give you a 30 days right of first refusal. So if you break the lease and you leave or whatever happens here, you'll always have 30 days right of first refusal if I decide to sell it. You get first chance. And
Okay, but
they
it's gonna
said,
be at the
okay.
rate that you want.
Hmm?
No, no, but it'd be at the rate that it
Right,
wouldn't
that
be
would
at
be
a
at normal
discount.
market rate at that point. Yeah.
Right,
But they've got a
right.
5 year lock in with me where I cannot sell it out from under them. So I think that might be, I mean, I might be talking myself out of a sale with you here, but this might be a conversation you should have with your tenants and say, look, I was
Mm,
thinking about selling the property and I don't want to uproot your lives. So something, and maybe I can help you negotiate that. Something I'm thinking about is if you guys want to stay in this house long term, I could give you a 3 year right to purchase the property,
right.
and that way I
Mhm.
can't sell it out from under you. If you guys are going to try to build a life here and continue that, then I'll give you the right to buy the property. But I would like to take this cash and put it into something else. Um, and I just need some security from you in a cash form to tell me that you do intend to buy the house, which would be an option fee that they pay up front. And then you'll have up to 3 years to buy it from me at a fixed
Mm,
price. Like I'm going to lock in the price now, no matter what the market does. So that's, you know, if the market price goes up by $100,000 between now and 3 years from now, that's too bad for me because we got a locked in contract,
right,
and
right.
that's why it's worth money up front for you guys to lock in. It's going to cost you like $7,000 to lock in right now and say that I can't sell it out from under you for 3 years and that you've got a locked in price.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an option, but I want something to be able to do something now, not to still hold me up for 3 more years.
Yeah,
So
I kind of figured.
that's what. Yeah,
Okay.
and I'm not saying even a third of that or something, but I don't want to
Yeah, and
continue to be
what's the rent on this? What are they paying?
actually 1,500. They've been
Nice.
paying it for. No, actually, it should be. I mean, they've been paying it from day one, so I haven't gone up. But then that's something that I come next year in January. We're gonna have to talk something because I can't keep doing that.
Yeah. Where should it be now?
Yeah.
Like 16 or 17?
Uh, no. Well, I when I spoke with the realtor, 1,800.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well,
So,
I mean,
uh,
what if you did sell it and you had that money, what would you be doing with it?
I mean, you mean the total price or a third of that, or what are you saying?
You
Just
tell
to,
you tell me. Like, if you got a lump sum of cash out of this property from selling it, do you already have it spent somewhere?
yeah, I mean, I would just pay down my debt on the house I'm in now. So
Would had you ever
significantly,
thought
yeah.
of now you're already involved in real estate. Had you ever thought of becoming a lender or and making like 10% on your money?
No, I haven't thought about that. I
Okay.
just really, yeah.
Some sellers
Mm-mm.
do that. Like if they don't know what they're going to do with the money, but they know they want to sell. Like I get tired landlords that are just, I want to be done. Just let me be done. I wish I could still make money on stuff, but I'm tired of tenants. One thing I'll offer to them is I run into deals where I need $10 or $15,000 all the time to cover closing costs and a few other things, or like a lipstick rehab. I need
Mm.
10, 15,
Oh, okay.
$25,000 for 3 to 6 months, and I would pay 10% interest on that money.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. So you do a contract with the person and they make money, you get what you want, then you pay them,
Yeah.
rather than going to the bank. Yeah.
Exactly. And so, I'm the creative finance guy. So sometimes I run into situations where somebody has a house that they would like to sell, but they're a little too proud of it price wise. And it would fetch a good price, but it's not fixed up, or they've got like really cheap finishes and it needs real updating to like rehab status to fetch a good price. And so
Hmm.
if I was to buy the house and pay closing costs, like take out a loan to buy it and then pay closing costs and then take out a loan for rehab or use my own personal cash or retirement fund or whatever I want for the rehab itself, by the time I'm done with all of that stuff and the holding costs, there's just not much
Hmm.
profit in the deal or any maybe. And so I'll tell sellers, look, if you just let me come in and rehab it and not have to buy it first, So then
Mhm.
we'll tag team on it. You know, you want $100,000 for this house. I'll make sure you get 100,000. I want to make 15,000 profit, and then it's going to cost me another 20 to fix up. So it looks like we have to sell it for 135, $140,000 plus whatever the realtor costs are. If we can hit that number and the projections look realistic, and you just let me bring the rehab budget instead of all of that other stuff, that's a deal I'd do.
Right.
And they're like, oh yeah, okay, I guess that works. And so that's an example of where I just need $25,000 for 60, 90 days to
Oh,
get the
okay.
rehab done.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I see. So you have contacts where you can just reach out and say, hey, I need that, and that you do the negotiation. You guys come up with a contract and you do that and you move on and
Yep,
that person will be your contact. Yeah.
yep.
That
And
sounds
I've
good.
got two guys, one lady who's got up to 50,000 waiting for me, and then two guys, one at 40,000 and one at up to 50,000. Those two guys only want to do lending to me because they're brand new to it, and I've been in real estate for a while. But I'm looking at Airbnbs, and they're looking at locking in for 12 to 18 months at 10% interest, because some of these Airbnb deals are so sweet. You know, you got closing costs and then furnishing. So when I buy one, sometimes I've got some cash to seller. I'll do it on seller finance or take over a mortgage and then furnish the house. And the cash flow on these looks incredible. So I'm just waiting for the right one to tap into before I tap into my private lenders for those.
Oh, okay. So you've been doing this for how long now?
2019 is when I started.
Oh,
I got two rentals
okay.
right now and a flip going right now.
Wow, okay. And you haven't reached out to your lenders.
Not on this house, no. We haven't even just figured out what we want to do here. But
No,
I stay in
I'm not
regular.
talking about,
Oh no, I stay
yeah.
in contact with my lenders. I don't bug them with every potential deal. I want to wait till something gets really solid before I do that. But I'm looking at three Airbnbs right now. One of them's in Colorado, and it's projected to bring in like 68 to $72,000 in revenue every year, which on top of the guy has a mortgage. He would let me take over the mortgage and give him some cash up front. So if I cash him out for like 60K
Uh-huh.
and then furnish it for another 15 to 20K, so my total cash into the deal is going to be just under $100,000, and then it's going to be cash flowing monthly. It was going to cash flow anywhere from 800 to $2,000 depending upon the seasonality
Oh,
after
okay.
after expenses. Pretty
Wow,
cool
okay.
stuff.
Yeah. If you juggling all of that, that's a lot. But I guess if you can work from home, you can do it, huh?
Yeah, well, yeah, and once I get that running, really for me, it's structuring it and putting it together, making sure my analysis is correct, and then I double triple check that with a third party who does the running of the Airbnbs, and he charges 20% of revenue, and he does the pictures, he'll do the furnishing, the pictures, he'll run it. I don't have to touch it. I don't even have to know about it. I never have to visit.
Oh, okay. So you trust him to do everything
Absolutely,
to
I'm a
keep it.
member of a very tight group. Like if anybody does anything even slightly shady, they can get kicked out of this group. And we paid thousands to get into this community. So we got a lot of support, a lot of really good people inside of here. And this guy services everybody in our group for the
Oh,
Airbnbs.
okay.
He's very
Okay.
trusted.
Okay. All right then, Caleb. Yeah, maybe we can do something, or I mean, it's real interesting. I don't know. So you were the last resort, you saying, to talk
Yeah,
to
when it
me.
because they made a
Well,
cash offer of what, like $240,000 or something like that, or 27. What was that?
well, it was 270, but what, 5 years, 6 years from now or something, or three? Uh,
Oh, I don't know what they said for terms. I think they overspeak because they really don't know. They're kind of pitching an idea, but I can go in so many different directions that I don't want to confuse you with what directions we can go. I really need to understand what it is you'd like to accomplish, and I can build a solution
mhm.
around that. So if you need to
Okay.
like figure out your tax implications and what you're going to do with the money and all that stuff, then we can handle all that. Like one of the techniques in order to get a bunch of capital is to refinance the house. and you take all your money, as well, 70% of the value of the house you can pull out as cash. So if
Mhm.
it's worth 100,000 and you owe 60 and you refinance it, that means you can pull 10,000 out. You follow?
Mhm.
Okay, then
Yes.
you'd have 10,000 in liquid cash you could use for a car, paying down something else, or as investment funds for other stuff. But in that case, what I would do is I would take over that mortgage for you, and I would become the landlord, and then I would make payments to you on the remaining 30% or the remaining $30,000 that the property was worth. So you'd be receiving payments from me for the value of the property, and the and you would have already pulled out the cash difference between what the mortgage was and what it uh, it could have been.
Okay, but you own the house now, right?
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, the house is fully paid for, so
Oh,
that's
there's no mortgage here?
no.
Oh my goodness. You're in a
So that's
sweet,
yeah,
sweet position. Okay, so
right.
that's exactly what I'm saying. So if you're rent, I don't know if this is a good one for me to buy or a good one for you to sell, because you're in a really good position cash flow wise. But if you were to
Mhm.
do something, like if you wanted more cash to be able to do something with, whether it's buying another house or investing or becoming a lender, that would be a great opportunity if you refinance now while the rates are relatively low. Because if you can get cash out at 2% or 2.5% and then be making 10% on it while it's by lending it out,
Well,
then that's
mhm.
that's 8% for free.
Right. But my thing would I would want to have some money to do something with,
Oh yeah.
and yeah, and still be a lender, but yeah, I don't want to just still be getting a monthly, income that I can't do what I need to do. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So,
I'm not saying I mean, you don't even have to refinance for 70%. You could refinance or get a home equity line of credit or whatever you want to do. You can tap into that equity um, at really low interest rates, and then use it for whatever your cash purposes are, and leverage that debt at a higher interest rate to bring more money in.
right.
So if you're looking
Right.
at
Well,
long-term strategies, there's a lot of options. And if you do the refinance, you're not getting hit with tax implications of sale.
right.
So a refi is a really good way to tap into your equity without paying tax for it because it's a loan. It's not actually profits.
Right. So, I just want to, like I said, touch base with you today, and then maybe we can talk later. Um, you kind of got an idea where the position I'm in, and maybe we can do something like I can be a lender to you, or we can work something out with the house or what. But it's a lot of information you've given me, but I would really like to work with you, um, and then we can go from there. Does that sound good?
Yeah. When's our follow up?
Well, I'm working midnight tonight, so I'll be available tomorrow. Yeah, see, I'm about to do 12 hours.
Yeah.
See, I just don't want to be in a position to be working crazy hours. One
Yeah.
day I'm on day shift, next day I'm on midnights. I don't want to. I mean, I have too much equity in my home, and that, to be doing. I don't want to work like that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want to be in a position
Well,
to,
I listen.
yeah,
If I was you, knowing what I know now, if I was you, while debt is cheap, I would refinance anything I've got paid off and maximize my debt. Now, I personally have committed to having 1 out of 5 properties paid off. That's what I want to stick to. But other than that, I would be maximizing the debt that I have, because the debt on your personal primary residence is the very cheapest debt you can get, probably in the 2% range if you've got good credit. Um,
hmm,
and then take that cash and immediately put it into buying 2 or 3 or 4 other rental properties. And I'm sure you know the difference between the nicer properties and the lower dollar properties. I would be buying nicer dollar properties if you want less headaches, because you tend to get better tenants, and they tend to pay on time, and they take care of stuff better than the ones in the low dollar neighborhoods.
right,
But
Right.
I would so fast I would use that money to buy 2 or 3 more rental properties. And even if they're not cash flowing heavy right now, you know it's a long game. 3 or 4 years from now, you're making $300 or $400 a month profit on top of all your debt service.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a lot to think about. I already have two houses in Detroit. I got renters. It's paid for. We're actually working on an apartment building.
Whoa,
So
what?
yeah, me and my fiance. So he has some properties that he have renters, but we're rehabbing a apartment building. So it's like, yeah. So I mean, just that's what I'm saying. I don't know. Uh, I mean, there's so many options, and it's money to be made out there. I know. So, but I still wanna. I'm waiting on an apartment building so I can stop working, but that hasn't happened yet. So
Okay.
yeah. So, but yeah, I don't want to continue to buy property, but I would be open to other stuff to, like you said, to loan to get to 10% or something like that. But
Yeah, or
it's,
if you're contributing a lot of cash to something like an Airbnb, then there's a partnership role in that as well. If it's not just minimal funding to get the startup funding, but if it was like all the funding required to get something started as
hmm
a partnership contribution, there would definitely be opportunities along those lines as well. And that
right.
would
I know
be
one guy wanted to buy
more
the
than
empty house
10%.
because it's right next. I mean, it's close to Eastern Michigan and the university. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Well, I mean, if you see a vacant
Yeah.
property, you're welcome to text me the address and we'll call it and see if we can buy it. We definitely would
hmm
get you a like a referral fee or something like that.
Okay. No, I'm saying the house in Itzy is close to Eastern. So
Oh, okay.
Eastern Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, some other guy said he would do it as an air, or rent it for college students. You know what I mean? That's what
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
saying.
Okay. Yeah.
And have multiple people. But yeah, I can. You're interested in properties in Ypsilanti only, or?
No, so I call nationwide because I'm the consultant for multiple companies that buy houses.
Mhm.
So, and the one that I bought in September in where was that? Burton. I've never seen it.
Mhm.
I hope I never do see it. But it was one of those deals where somebody called me and said, "Hey, I got a weird situation for you. See if you can close this
Oh,
one." And so I just talked and
oh.
found the story, and I found a solution, and I got them. I got the person who found the house. I got them a $7,500 finder's fee, and
Mhm.
my one of my private lenders lent 100% of that property of the loan. So that was $0 out of pocket for me. I actually got paid about $2,500 to close that deal. So it's cost
Well.
me $0 so far to get that one
uh,
because my private lender said, well, I mean, if you're getting a 53,000 discount, then there's plenty of equity in it. Yeah, I'll lend on the whole thing.
Oh, okay. Wow, that is amazing. Okay. So the house in Ipsy right now, you were just trying to do a creative financing for a couple of years, right? Or to agree upon something like that.
See, I don't think we've even got that far yet because I'm not sure. I'm not even sure that's the best option for you to sell it yet, based on what's going on. Unless you have a reason you want to want to get rid of it because you're tired of dealing with the tenants or something like that. But if you've got good tenants, I'm not convinced this is a good one for you to sell.
I really, right. But, sometimes yeah, I don't know.
Now, I
I
mean, if
don't
you
want
want,
to,
we can
but
give you some sort of down payment. Because of the way we do things and how many people we talk to, I really can't go beyond like 10 or 15% down payment on something. So let's say $100,000 purchase, because I have to be able to bring other investors in. I may not actually be the end buyer. I'm the guy that structures the deal, and I end up getting
hmm
my finder's fee up front. So just like that one guy got $7,500 for the one that I ended up closing, I
right.
was the end buyer and I made sure he got a nice finder's fee. And so that's the way that's going to work. I may be the buyer, in which case I've got to pay somebody else a finder's fee, or I may structure a deal that's attractive to another investor, and they're going to come in and buy it and give me a finder's fee. So I
Okay.
really can't go much above 10% down payment up front. And then the monthly payments have to be such that there's about a $500 spread between what we're paying you on seller finance and what's coming in for rent. So if rent is $1,500, we would be able to make payments of up to $1,000 a month. Does that make sense?
If you have, if you bought the Well, why $15,000? Meaning what? I mean, what is your role in the house then? If you're paying 15, oh, for that many years until it's sold.
Yeah. So let's talk about a 5 year situation. So give me a number that you would say would work for this house. I don't care if it's retail or what.
Um, Say hypothetically 250,000.
250.
Yes.
Okay. So then I'd be looking at a $25,000 down payment. Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
that leaves, actually, let me pull up my cheat sheet calculator. 250 minus 25,000. That means you would be I got too many zeros. Hold on. You would be financing $225,000. Now let's put that at, so these are the types of terms that I would propose. Now this is not actual proposal. I'm just saying you'd be financing $225,000 at, let's say, 3% interest on a 30-year term. So we would make that payment. Well, guess what that comes out to be? $948. So that's pretty good. We're in real good shape right there, because that's what something I can actually make cash flow with and go buy lunch money or pay a cell phone bill with the cash flow after all my expenses are factored in. And then at year 5, I would owe you a balloon payment, a big fat check. I'd go refinance it with a bank and get you a check for $200,000 and $200,039.27.
Mm-hmm.
So in the meantime, I would have paid you $31,955 in interest and $24,960 in principal. And then after that, I would pay you $200,000 more. So the total I would pay you on a $250,000 house ends up being $281,956 in 5 years. You see how that works?
Right. Yeah. I don't have a paper in front of me, but
No,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I can let me just screen clip this little piece that I've got, and I'll send it to you in an email so that you can see what I'm talking about, and that'll kind of help you think along those lines, because I think you and I are probably just whiteboarding and figuring out what's the best solution, because you've got so many options, especially since you own it outright.
Right. Okay, Caleb. If you can do that, but I gotta get going. You can make me late for work. I gotta be there at 7. So,
Hey, I'm up late if you want to text me later if you're bored.
well, no, I'm not bored. I'm busy the whole time, but
Oh
I
no.
will. What's the time down there
I'm
in
Central Time,
Kansas?
so I'm probably an hour behind you. I'm 5:16 p.m. right now.
Okay, we're at 6:16. Okay. Okay. All right then. Well, it's nice talking with you. We'll connect again. I'm thinking about all that. So, um, I'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Okay, sounds good. Thank
Have a
you.
good night. Okay.
You too.
You have a good night. Bye.
Bye.